What's really good, my people? Welcome into No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Little. Big Nick the Quith with me as always.
Yeah.
NFL talk, man. It's NFL Week 1. This one of the craziest NFL Week 1s I can remember in years. So we're going to break down all the games. We're going to talk about all the storylines that we liked. We got Lasik, Jameis. We got Kyler Murray going
The boy
nuts.
can see.
We got Jameis can see, so you know he's going nuts now. Aaron Rodgers put up a big dud in Week 1 against said Jameis Winston. We'll talk about that. We got to talk about last night. Las Vegas Raiders and the Baltimore Ravens. That's one of the craziest
No quit Derek Carr. No quit Derek Carr.
Shout out D Carr. He was doing his thing. So we got a lot to talk about, a lot of Week 1, and then we're gonna close it out with some picks, man. So stay locked with us.
Man, look at Mossy. Really? Oh, so that's how you're gonna play it. You gonna do this? Okay, fine. That's all I needed. That's all I needed for him to do that, and it became personal with me.
Big Nick the Quick, what's goody?
What's the business? Week 1.
Week 1 in a book.
This weekend. Man. First Sunday. Man, it was crazy. So after Thursday's game, I was like, man, I don't care what else I got going on the next 2 days. And I had a lot going on. I was like, I need to get to Sunday in one piece. That's it. That's all.
It was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It was crazy, bro. It was crazy, though.
Madness.
11-4, the underdogs went against the spread, had 8 outright wins.
Which I'd like to put that up against history. Like, how often is it that the dogs are coming out and killing on Week 1? Because it doesn't seem that crazy, but you never know. It
doesn't seem crazy because no one.
You don't know anything.
People think they know. They don't really know shit, right?
Last year it only matters for a few teams. Like a lot of teams, you're turning over your roster in the NFL like crazy if you're a bullshit squad. So
right. The only bet I had on Sunday was I had the Browns and the Rams in a teaser, and then I had the Rams in another play. But the only thing I was sure about was the Rams.
Yeah.
Everything else, I was kind of like, I don't know. We're going to see.
Yeah.
The only reason I looked at the Browns is because the line moved from – it was like at 1.6.5, I want to say, when it opened.
Yeah.
And then it went all the way down to 4. So I was like, all right, I'll just tease it back up and I'll rock with that. But
so it's a push, huh? For everybody who took it at the 4. No, for everybody who took it at the 4. For everybody who took it at the 4.
I teased it up to I teased it up to like 11, I think.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah. So I caught it at 5. I caught it before it went to 4. I caught it at 5, teased it up to 11. So it was free.
Yeah, that was a fun game for sure.
Yeah. So where you want to start, big dog? We got so much to talk about.
Oh, man. Let's see.
Where you want to start?
Obviously, we hit the Bears yesterday. If everybody missed that, go check that out. We locked in. We're not going to talk about those boys anymore. Man, let's start with the trouble in Jacksonville, but not the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trouble for the Green Bay Packers and a good time for the New Orleans Saints and Jameis Winston and company. Man, I think we should start there. Why not?
Okay, yeah, let's because that's got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about for sure.
Yeah.
Jameis Winston allegedly was in a quarterback battle with Taysom Hill.
Allegedly, disrespectful.
It's completely disrespectful, and honestly. I'm upset at myself for not getting a little wager now and just showing support for my guy Jameis.
Right.
Because we've been Jameis supporters for a minute.
Team Jameis for sure.
Yeah. Shout out my guy Solito and my guy Mikey in the comments. What's up, Mike? Yeah, man. So they've been disrespecting Jameis for quite a while now. He couldn't get a gig. He couldn't get a job.
Right. Meanwhile, people are trading picks for Sam Darnold.
Yes, all types.
People
of
are giving Andy Dalton $10 million a year. But Jameis can't get a gig for 2 summers.
Can't get a gig, right? Okay, so he goes down to New Orleans. Hey, and I also want to commend him on this. He showed a lot of patience. Like, I'm going to go down to New Orleans where I know Sean Payton can coach. It's a good system and all that. And I'm going to wait for Drew to retire, and I'm going to get my chance. I'll take the little money y'all giving me, but he picked the spot over anything else. And we talked about that recently about guys. Eric Bieniemy, we had like a little bit of an argument about that, but I hate to see guys just jump at anything so they get a chance instead of a long-term play that may be even more fun, a little less money, but more fun, more lucrative down the road. And I think that's what Jameis did. So I got to commend him for that, for going down to New Orleans, taking pretty much a year off. I don't know how many opportunities he had, but he could have maybe got something else. But he took I think he took like 1.5 mil to go to New Orleans.
He took his like vet minimum, yeah.
Yeah, so he took like one and change to go to New Orleans. Now he's back starting. He looked great, threw 5 tutties. Shout out Lasik Jameis. And that Lasik shit was a big deal. I remember we said it right away. I'm like, look, bro, if he's throwing 30 touchdowns and can't see, then you get his eyes fixed. Those interceptions are gonna come down purely off of that, and he'll be back rocking.
Yeah, and clearly they believed in him, right? Like, obviously they had Taysom Hill on the roster and all that, but it's not like they were you didn't hear anything this summer about them going out looking for a quarterback. So clearly they liked what they had in training camp. I don't know how much of it. I want to know when that competition was actually over, because I know Sean Payton's a wild guy, but I don't think he's crazy enough to watch that for 6 weeks and be like, oh, yeah, well, Taysom Hill is still in this competition. So maybe that was just to kind of keep Jameis on edge, keep him on top of his game. But clearly it paid off, man. We've talked about it for years. You don't throw 30 touchdowns and 5,000 yards in this league without talent. Period, point blank. I get it. I get the 30 picks. I completely understand that. I completely understand that that's unacceptable. A lot of those are awful. A lot of those are forced throws. But again, I've been watching quarterback play for 30-something years. The Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer, let alone a 5,000-yard passer. So 5,000 yards to throw for 30 touchdowns. Obviously the talent's there. You saw him at Florida State. He just needed to work some shit out. And what better place to do it than down in the Bayou with Sean Payton, Drew Brees, sit out for a year, come in this year, compete. And like you said, man, he bided his time, and now he honestly couldn't be in a better situation. You're with an offensive-minded head coach, right, who's going to play to your strengths. You're in a great city to play football in. You're with a good roster. You have a really good defense to play behind, too, something that he did not have in Tampa when he was there. So, in my opinion, man, it's a perfect spot. Yeah, he lost that 1 year, but he could be in like a Cam Newton situation, right, where you go somewhere for a year, but they're instantly trying to replace you, and now you're out on the street. Instead, he took the situation, kind of went with the long view. Shout out to his agent and him for kind of seeing that vision. Shout out to the Saints organization for selling him on that. Because, look, man, I get it's only one game, but I believed in this from the beginning. I thought the Saints were being slept on by people like Jameis was just going to come up here and be terrible, because I just did not think that was the case.
Yeah, I believe.
And lo and behold, man, a coach that helps their quarterback, man. Go figure.
Oh, they impact those dudes?
Yeah, apparently.
Jameis Winston, 14 of 20, 148. He didn't throw for many yards, but he had 5 tutties. So they smoked out Green Bay 38-3. Let's talk
Dominated them.
Let's talk about the other side of the rock.
Yeah. Green Bay came out flat. Like we talk about it. You talk about teams coming out flat, lifeless, lethargic, unengaged, whatever you want to call it. Green Bay came out that way from the very beginning. Like you could tell from early on, this game was never going to go in Green Bay's way. You got Rodgers throwing red zone picks. You got Rodgers launching Hail Mary picks to nobody. This lifeless out there, 100%, man. Like and I'm not ready to panic like a lot of folks. You hear a lot of people saying, I was talking to some Packers fans who were saying, hey, Rodgers is just going to mail it in this year. False. That's not going to happen. I think it was a bad game. I think when you look at what they went through out the offseason, they never really had any continuity or anything like that, and they just came out and looked that way. I think at the end of the day, he's still Aaron Rodgers. They're going to get it right, but we're going to focus on that game. He looked absolutely terrible. I've never seen him come out and play a football game like that. Like he may have had bad games before, but I've never seen him come out and play a football game like that. And it obviously impacted the entire team because they just weren't ready to play at all.
Does that kind of reverberates through the rest of the squad when he just doesn't show up to shit? Yo, listen, bro. If we're being honest, not even Aaron Rodgers can just walk off the street fresh off Hawaii and kicking it and shit to NFL Sunday. And that's technically what he tried to do. Right. He was in training camp for a little bit, but he wasn't doing shit. This is his first real reps. And he got a little wake-up call.
Absolutely. So, big time wake-up call.
I heard Acho on Fox yesterday talking about he's not taking this shit seriously.
That's what I'm hearing. Yeah, some Packers fans told me like he's mailing it in. I'm like, I don't think that's possible.
Listen, it is what it is. He does not fuck with y'all, the Packers organization. So he's on his James Harden right now. He's trying to get back in shape. He gonna get this is James's first week in Houston right now. When he was like, yo, I don't want to be here. Get me out of here. Oh, y'all not gonna get me out of here? All right. Well, I've been partying for about 6 weeks.
Right.
So
living life.
Give me 2 weeks, and then I'll be back to putting up 49-8. Right. But give me a couple weeks, bro. And you know what the doctor ordered? Green Bay is at home against who the fuck do they
Detroit.
have?
I think they got Detroit.
Detroit next week on Monday night.
Easy.
Now, let me tell you something. Aaron Rodgers is going to be ready for that at home. They are going to mash Detroit next week. Right. Detroit might put up some points, but I'm not worried about the Packers scoring and Aaron Rodgers looking a lot better.
Yeah, you might see garbage time golf like you saw last on Sunday, but I'm not too worried about it. But let me say this:
worried about golf?
Well, no, let's never been worried about Jared Goff. But let's flip this the other way. If they do lose to the Lions, where are you? Like at that point, is something fishy going on?
You don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah,
you don't even have to worry about that. There is absolutely zero chance they lose on Monday night at home against the Detroit Lions. It's not happening.
So is this a one-game thing, or as we look ahead even past the Lions game, are you concerned? Like overall?
I'm not concerned about Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
I'm just not. This is not going to happen. I think he's going to take a little time to get rolling. He literally just tried to walk off the street and play a game, and the Saints are a good football team.
A very good football team. A very good defense.
Yeah. So, like.
And have been for a while.
Yeah.
Like I know we think of Sean Payton and scoring a lot of points and all that. The Saints have been a defensive ball club for a couple of years now.
For sure. It's kind of spooky that they did this outside of the Superdome too.
Yeah.
38-3.
38-3 outside of the dome in Jacksonville.
Dome.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been it could have got real spooky if
they let's call it like we call it too. They've had their set of problems the last couple of weeks too. They've been displaced. These dudes aren't staying at the crib, or maybe they just got back to the crib in the last week or so. They've had to deal with the hurricane. They haven't been in their facility. They haven't been with their stuff. So they had to go out to Jacksonville and make that happen. It was a road game for the Packers regardless, so you were going to be outside of your element. But for the Saints to come out and be prepared like that, and again, we talked about the 14-20 for Jameis and only 178 yards, but 5 touchdowns. Like he shredded them. He picked them apart. He picked and chose the spots. When he wasn't throwing, Kamara was doing his thing. They were constantly putting pressure on Rodgers, forcing him into bad decisions. It just looked uncharacteristic, and that's why I'd probably go more towards like, yeah, it's going to go back to what we're used to seeing. There's no way he's going to look like this. It's not the new Aaron Rodgers. So I think people are overreacting on that. But definitely some pause or level for concern, man. 38-3 can't happen.
Yeah, I'm not even there yet. I think they just had a really bad game, and Rodgers hasn't played a game in a minute and ain't really up to snuff on his shit. But
fair enough.
Tonight they'll look better. Do you remember when Rodgers told y'all in the middle of the season? He's like, y'all are tripping. They were on like game 8. They were like 3-4 or some shit. He's like,
talking about the relax shit.
Yeah, he's like, relax, bro. We gonna go ahead and take care of this. And then he turned it up from there on out. And he honestly has been very good ever since then. So I'm not worried about Aaron, but it's ugly to lose like that. But they'll be straight. And then the Lions are just what the doctor ordered. So. And
for the Saints going forward, you feeling good, confident?
Yeah, man. I mean, especially because people were telling me that the Falcons were a sleeper. So. The Sharps was telling me the Falcons is a don't sleep on the Falcons. They got a good football team. That's false. So
can they push Tampa in that division?
What's push me? Push for a wild card?
Tampa's a lock to win that division, right?
Yeah, bro. It looks that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
defense look kind of shaky though.
Yeah, it did. But
defense looked very shaky.
Yo, listen. I think Tampa's D looked a little shaky. I also think the Cowboys offense is really fucking elite. And I think Dak Prescott is elite. We've been screaming that shit forever. Mm-hmm. So like, yo, first game of the year, you playing Dak in a really, really good offense that has a ton of talent. When I bet I put it like this, I bet you Tampa's D looks a little better against the Falcons. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Cowboys are going to be putting up points all year. I've been saying that. Go look at. I got to share some videos. I mean, I love Dak, man.
Yeah, Dak looked great. Any questions about him being hurt or whatever it might be?
None of
He
that.
looked great.
None of that.
Look phenomenal.
Yeah, man. Let's move over.
Do we want to cross off this Falcons talk real quick? Let's just update. I put it on Twitter the other day. Update: the Atlanta Falcons are still trash. 32-6 at home.
We should probably talk about it real quick just to show Jalen Hurts some love because I've been hating on fam. So I would.
You have been like the biggest Jalen Hurts can't throw the ball. I've never been on it. To come out week 1 at home with the Atlanta Falcons, new coaching staff, like you said, some hype coming into the season. The arrival of Kyle Pitts, the chosen one. I said the other day they should just strip everything down and build around Kyle Pitts. Strip it down, just trade, build around Kyle Pitts. How can we maximize his talents? To come out like that and delay a complete egg and score 2 field goals is just absurd.
Yeah,
absurd. But on the flip side, like you said, Jalen Hurts comes out 27-35, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns on the road. We talked about it. This is a guy who essentially is playing to not get replaced, right? The Eagles got a ton of first-round picks next year or over the next couple years, have not committed to him long-term in any shape or form. And everybody kind of just thinks he's a transition year quarterback. Let's see what we got here. For him to come out like that and have that type of performance, hey, he's a winner.
Salute.
He's a winner. Yeah.
Yo, Mike, speaking of my guy, Mikey Solito, who was just on the comments, he hit me with a text and he was trying to get me to take the Jalen Hurts over passing yards prop. It was like 220, I think, or something like that. I'm like, bro, I ain't touching that shit.
He looked good.
And he was dead on. He went for 264, 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, man, I didn't watch that game, so I can't dive too much into it. Like, I went back and watched Saints Packers.
Yeah.
But all I know is that in our pick'em, because we got, the homies got the pick'em. I was on the Falcons in every pick'em I have. I fell into the fucking the fucking Falcons trap again every year.
They are like a team that's like, it always sounds like. Let me paraphrase that. In the first quarter of the season, it always sounds like a good idea to take the Atlanta Falcons because you're always like, well, yeah, they should win this game.
Quarterback.
Yeah. They're not going to come out and stink. New coaching staff.
Calvin Ridley, good young receiving core. Man,
they suck.
They are whack, bro.
Whack.
I'm way off them. Yo, I do want to touch this next though because I think this is interesting. Let's talk Cardinals, Titans, Kyler Murray, and the Titans are also supposed to be a juggernaut in the AFC. Am I correct?
I told you. So this is it for Derrick Henry. I was legitimately concerned about Derrick Henry coming in this year. You put up the stats about the people who go over 370 carries. He's done it back-to-back the last 2 years. Usage rate insane. At some point, something's got to give, and that happens with running back. And let's be honest here. Their defense has been shaky. Defense is very shaky.
Been shaky.
Ryan Tannehill is okay, but let's not act like Ryan Tannehill's elite and he's taking you over the hump.
No, man, people been trying to tell me Tannehill is a beast.
Then they're crazy. And they don't watch the film.
Go watch the
film. We tell you every year. I think that they were the shakiest contender coming into this year for me. Because so much relied on them being able to do one thing well. And that one thing that they do well, you're worried about this year because they've done it so much over the last 2 years, and that's run the football through Derrick Henry. Like, it's just it's nothing against Henry. It's nothing against them. It's just that's the way it works. When you have a running back that touches the ball that much over the last 2 years, there's naturally going to be some regression in year 3. Now, I get it. It's only one game. They weren't able to do anything running the ball in game 1. Maybe he'll bounce back in the second week. But they rely so much on that if it's not working, they can't do anything. And their defense is so bad that you end up with a result like Sunday. And Kyler Murray was doing whatever he wanted. Video game shit. Which
he is a problem.
He's a problem. Is this year 3 or 4 for Kyler Murray? This is year 3, right?
3.
Yeah. And so I think he started it last year in the beginning half. Remember the first half of the year last year, they were lights out. And then they kind of fell apart. But you would naturally expect him to take this leap into year 3. I think he looked comfortable. Again, he could do whatever he wants. He's super confident. He's got that same escapability like Lamar, but way better throwing throwing motion, throwing arm, whatever you want to call it, more accuracy. He's scary, man. And no play is over with him out there. He's just he's like a little weasel. He can just slither out of things.
Lamar needs to go holler at him.
Yeah, real talk.
Real shit. Because like Kyler doesn't necessarily have any physical tools that are better than Lamar's. If anything, they're a little worse. Maybe not arm strength, but like at least on the feet wise.
Yeah, he's not the runner that Lamar is, but it's close.
But man, bro, he looks, for how little he is too, he's just doing his thing. Shout out Kyler Murray.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm not gonna go down the line because we did talk about Derrick Henry. We talked about the regression that was happening. I put up a video on it. Go check it out at No Ketchup Pod on Instagram. It's on there. We talked about Derrick Henry just can't keep this up. I don't care how big he is. I don't care how physical he is. This is still the NFL, and you're still taking lots and lots of punishment every single week. You're not going to be able to keep putting up 150 yards every week. It's just not going to happen. Now,
especially if you're not making them pay in the passing game at all,
right?
Which they're not.
Right. I'm gonna go a little bit off of, because am I a Tannehill believer? He's okay. He's solid. I love AJ Brown. I obviously love Julio just because I think he's always been a stud and just needs to get him the rock. There's always issues about him getting the rock in the end zone, all types of shit.
Yeah.
I'm a big AJ Brown fan. So I think they have weapons. Am I a big Tannehill guy? Not really, but he's solid. I'm going to go the other way. Maybe Arizona is like the real deal.
The defense looked great. Chandler Jones had 5 sacks.
I'm going to tell you this. If they can play just a little bit of D, Kyler is going to put up some points.
Absolutely.
He showed that last year. He showed that in week 1. He had 4. Listen to his line, bro. 21 of 32, 4 touchdowns on 289. Like, come on.
And another one on the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I didn't even know that. He had another one on the ground.
Yeah, another one on the ground.
I mean, the man is there. The DeAndre Hopkins trade will always not be ridiculous. It's a thievery. The fact that he's on that roster is ridiculous.
It's absurd.
Yeah.
It's absurd that they traded DeAndre Hopkins. The Houston Texans. Crazy that you gave Kyler Murray exactly what he was looking for. Again, another go figure. You got a young quarterback surrounded with talent. They did it in Buffalo. They did it in Arizona. It makes sense.
But yeah, man, Arizona got some tools, got some talent on D.
And we're not going to ignore John Jones either. 5 sacks. Buda Baker, Isaiah Simmons. Like they do got some.
Jones, yeah.
They got John Jones. Yeah, Chandler Jones. Yeah, shout out John Bone Jones. Yeah. Isaiah Simmons, Buda Baker, like they were making plays all over the field on defense. So much so that left tackle Taylor Lewan of the Tennessee Titans came out with the softest tweet so far of the 2021 season. Look, bro, you got beat. Just go ahead and keep it moving. Coming on Twitter
tell the people about that.
Yeah, so I retweeted this and said this was the softest shit I've ever seen. But essentially, after John Jones beat him for 5 sacks, he went on Twitter and was like, "I got my ass kicked today. I've got to be better. Thank you, Chandler Jones, for," what did he say? Like, "Thank you, Chandler Jones, for showing me that I need to get better." It's like, dog, this is so fucking soft.
Yeah,
like so soft. Just go get better throughout the week. You want to make some tweet about it. It's almost like he knew his mentions would be burning up, so he wanted to get ahead of it.
Yeah,
like ran to his locker room after the game. Was like, let me fire this tweet off before my mentions are on fire because I got my ass kicked for 3.5 hours today. That shit was soft as hell.
Yeah,
super soft. So
for those who don't know, Nick is talking about the starting tackle for the Titans.
Yeah.
That got smoked out for 5 sacks by 10.
For 5 sacks. So just keep it moving, man. Take your helmet and shoulder pads off. Go back to the locker. Keep it moving. Go home. Get better. So yeah, no, the Cardinals look great, but they're another one of those teams though where you could be fooled by them. Again, they looked really good to start the year last year and then kind of fell apart. I still am not a Cliff Kingsbury believer at all. So we'll just kind of see where this goes. But look, man, we can only go off that one game and they look really good. And Kyler Murray, it looks like year 3 is going to be special.
Yeah.
What were the MVP lines on Kyler Murray? You probably could have got some good value on him before the year.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense. He's one of those guys that
like
could
plus 2,500 or some shit like that.
He has MVP type talent, obviously, because they're always looking for somebody who statistically is doing crazy shit. and he just might get a shit ton of touchdowns this year.
That NFC West is fucking murderers.
It is a gauntlet, yeah.
So that's the only thing about them is, man, they're going to be in a lot of battles. They're going to be getting beat up quite a bit.
Is it possible to put 4 in the playoffs?
No, it's not impossible, but it's difficult to do.
Okay. There's 2 wild. Well, no, is it? Can you do it? A division winner plus 2 wild card teams or 3?
I think there's only. I don't know. Well, they changed it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'll have to look that up.
But I think I want to say before the season started, I was looking, and you could bet 4 teams from any division make the playoffs. I think so. Yeah, I don't know. We'll double check it.
Cool.
But shout out Kyler Murray. He's electric. K1 doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I almost don't even want to talk Steelers Bills because I've been talking so much shit about the Bills.
A Steelers D.
But yeah, let's go over there because I'm also very low on the Steelers as well. So it's like a double whammy for me.
And I still am too. I mean, I think that was a great win. Their defense looked great. I don't necessarily trust Ben Roethlisberger throughout 16 games at this point, but man, you got to take it to their defense. TJ Watt and those boys, he got his money, marched in the office, signed his own deal, said, "Hey, look, I'm done with the negotiate." You hear that story?
Yeah.
I guess his agent was trying to get more money. Yeah, so his agent was trying to get more money, and TJ Watt was like, "Man, fuck this." Walked into Rooney's office, signed the deal, and said, "I'm going to work out."
Like that, he was trying to like nickel and dime.
Yeah, a little bit. He's like, I'm not dealing with this, man. This is a lot of money. What was it, like 4 years, 120 million? He's like, this is more than enough money. Signed his deal. It's like, all right, I got to go work out.
He was trying to get more than that.
His agent was trying to get more, and TJ was like, we're good.
Don't worry about it.
We're good here. Yeah, we're fine here. I just want to play.
No Dennis Schroeder here.
Yeah, we're not going to do that, man. And obviously that wasn't going to happen with TJ Watt because he's a fucking monster. But man, just looking at the way their defense played on Sunday, if they can play D like that all year, they have a chance. And it'll allow them to rely a little bit less on Ben Roethlisberger. Obviously, they got to get Najee Harris going in that running game. But man, their defense came out and looked sharp. On the flip side, Buffalo needs to learn how to run the football. Like, I get that these teams all want to pass and all that, but how many quarterbacks threw 50 attempts in week 1? Jared Goff threw 50. Jared Allen threw 50. I think Dak had like 75 on Thursday. Like, yo, calm down. Come out here. Try to establish the run. And I think that's something you got to watch out for on Buffalo. Obviously, we're big Buffalo Bills fans here, but throwing the ball 51 times is never a good recipe to win on Sundays, in my opinion.
Yeah, Devin Singletary had 11 carries for 72 yards. Josh Allen had another 9 carries for 44 yards. They had 117 on the ground, but
only 20 attempts.
Yeah, 25
attempts.
Yeah. It's interesting, man. I think, well, look, Pittsburgh had a block punt late. I mean, the
TJ Watt had the strip sack.
This is the only other game I went back and watched because I watched this, I watched Saints, and I watched the Bears on Sunday night, obviously, and I watched Thursday night, Dak and those guys. But I was traveling. Shout out my guy Fish. He got married in Montana, so I was out there. So I missed a good chunk in the middle. But
it was plus 3,500 for Murray. Why are we not on that? Damn.
Yeah, that was, I mean, the MVP, bro.
Yeah, I guess after your Russell Wilson extravaganza last year, you're probably out, huh? Sean was just adding money every week to Russell Wilson.
I literally added money every week to Russell Wilson MVP.
And kept telling us, like, what are y'all doing, man? It's a lock. It's a lock.
For like the first 6 or 7 weeks, and then all of a sudden, the wheels fell off. Yo, it's so crazy about a tangent real quick. When the media starts to get rolling on an MVP campaign or like a Heisman campaign, that shit is a runaway train, bro. Like, Russell was the man locked in for the MVP, and all of a sudden he had a bad game. And they're like, actually, we're going to switch the narrative. We're going to go Rodgers or Mahomes.
How about Rodgers?
Yeah, how about Rodgers? How about we give it to Rodgers? And then that's it.
The NBA is the worst at that. The NBA, the MVP is decided in the very, very NBA's MVP is decided at the end of the previous season.
Yeah,
I remember like Luka was like, it was like a foregone conclusion. Like all Luka had to do was Dallas had to be decent for him to win it this year, and unfortunately they weren't, so he didn't. But if they had won like 55 games, it was a lock. It was easy.
I got to see if Luka in shape before I put up any type of money on him.
I don't think so. You saw him at the pool, man. He's looking doughy.
He be chilling, man.
Yeah, big chilling.
Ain't nobody stop him though.
Yeah. Except for the fourth quarter.
Yes, the fourth quarter stops him.
It stops his ass real quick.
That last frame.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the Bills. Listen, it is tough to have to throw it 51 times.
51 times is just not a recipe for. And I get like they're a high-powered offense, but man, you threw it 51 times, you only put up 16 points. Obviously, something's not working.
Yeah, I feel that. But they're like I said, they were at home. Allen had 21 incompletions. That's the second highest after Lawrence down in Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. So I don't think he'll have
that was that himbo sneaky stat.
Yeah. You saw that too? Yeah.
I thought it was Goff. I was like, I guess Jared Goff on that, but yeah.
Yeah. Trevor Lawrence had the most incompletions, but Allen was second. So we'll see what they do next week, man. I'm still on the Bills train.
For sure. They're too good for it to look like that forever.
Next week, they're at the Dolphins, -3. Sign me up.
Yeah, easy.
Sign me up for that.
Huge bounce back spot right there. You talk about bounce back spots, huge bounce back spot. They're going to come out there and do their thing. Buffalo is still a legitimate contender. No week one panic on them. So your week one panic is a no on Buffalo. So far, a no on the Packers.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes on the Falcons. Done. We've already crossed them off.
No, if we even had to discuss that. But yeah, bro. So what else you want to touch on before we can get into some overall storylines on rookie quarterbacks and that type of thing?
What else impressed me?
Shout out Teddy Two Gloves.
Yeah, shout out Teddy Two Gloves. Teddy cover him up.
The Broncos are nobody to sneeze at. They could
nice
really
defense.
solid.
Yeah, nice defense, nice playmakers. Bridgewater won't wow you, but he won't make a lot of mistakes.
Yo, Von Miller is back.
Von is back. He never left.
He felt like playing. He's been chilling the last couple of years. He be on Khalil Mack.
Russ Wilson, great game for Seattle on Sunday.
Obviously, September
Russ, still the king of the deep ball, so we definitely got to give some credit there. But with them, you got to see how it goes throughout the year, because last year they started off on fire and then really fell off for the second half of the year. Man, are we gonna talk about Urban?
Yeah, let's do that.
Urban Meyer and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So why don't you go over that report that you had posted? Because I thought that was interesting. I hadn't really seen that.
Yeah, so the report I saw on Urban Meyer was he's already off the rails, essentially.
Going crazy over preseason games?
He can't listen. He is a lifer college football coach that controls kids. Literally, listen, you gotta realize and step back and think about college ball. Literally, these coaches are handpicking players throughout the country who they like. The best. Like, I like this dude. He'll fit the Ohio State way, right?
Especially when you're at big brands like Florida and Ohio State.
The Florida way, right? Whatever. He's a Gator. He's hand selecting these dudes that he knows will either perform in a certain spot that he wants to put them in, or he likes their character or how they respond to certain things, whatever, this, that, and the third. He's used to controlling every single thing when people are showing up, when they're leaving, when they're eating, all that shit, right?
You're the most powerful man on campus. You're more powerful than the university president. You are the man in the state.
You're the governor.
The governor.
All that.
Everybody's looking at you like, yes, where do we go? Jump how high type shit. Yes.
And we know that Urban Meyer doesn't have a lot of patience.
No. He's
shown that in multiple different aspects.
Kind of an asshole.
Yes. When he leaves spots or whatever, his health, but Urban Meyer's patience is not a virtue over there. So the report came out and basically said he's off the rails. He can't contain himself. They lose a preseason game. He's all over people. And it just sounds like he doesn't know how to run an NFL football team. This is the quote. He has everyone. This is on Urban Meyer. This is an anonymous quote, by the way, so you already know how that goes. He has everyone looking over their shoulders already, said one source with direct knowledge of the daily operation in Jacksonville. He becomes unhinged way too easily, and he doesn't know how to handle losing. Even in the preseason, he loses, and he wants to take over the drills himself. It's not good.
Right, which means, so that's obviously coming from assistant coaches who feel like, and he's stepping on his assistant coach's toes at that point in time, right?
Yeah,
and like the NFL.
The take over my drill shit.
Right. And a defensive coordinator in the NFL is a little bit different than a defensive coordinator in college. Like these are people that have their own job, their own little situation here, and they don't need Urban Meyer coming in here, taking over tackling drills and saying, you're not doing this right. You're dealing with professionals who have been in the league for a while, who he should really be leaning on and figuring out how the league works. Because like you said, he has no NFL head coaching experience. And also you're walking to a situation with the Jacksonville Jaguars, which are a losing organization. So on one hand, I kind of see it, because he's used to excellence, and now you're walking into a franchise that's essentially the laughingstock of the NFL and has been for a long time. So there's probably some bad habits there. But at the same time, this isn't college, man. This isn't Ohio State. You can't kick and scream and get your way trying to fire folks. He's already telling people that their jobs are on the line. You haven't even played a game yet. Like, it's crazy. So, I mean, it doesn't surprise me at all. I never thought this was going to go well. I was listening to Josh McCown yesterday on the Jay Cutler podcast randomly, and he was talking about how he had heard a lot of bad things over there. So, like, it's already in league circles. Now guys aren't going to want to go play there. And look, guys left college to not play for college coaches anymore, period, point blank. And you see it happen with these college coaches who are like these overlords, these Sabans and guys like that. It's just, it doesn't work well with what they want to do. That's why Saban will never come back to the National Football League. That's why Coach K never came to the NBA. It's just a different situation. And if your thing is all about control, right, and fear or whatever it is that you use to motivate, that's just not going to work in the league. Guys are going to be like, hey, man, I got my contract. I got my deal. Like, fuck you. I've been in the league longer than you. So if you're already like berating your staff and you don't have these people on your side, like, how are you going to turn it around? And imagine the environment that's creating for a young quarterback too, like kind of dysfunction.
100%. And I think I heard a couple people say on TV, and I agree with them, that he's kind of running this shit like he got his homie Tim Tebow coming to play tight end. Cool, bro. Come on in.
Bringing in people with sexual assault. What was it? The buddy dude he brought in sexual. Yeah. I don't thought a big deal. Whatever. I'm Urban Meyer.
He's just hiring people, not doing any background vetting. But you know what? That's what you do when you're at Ohio State. You just do whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
That's it.
And doesn't work that way in the league.
Doesn't work that way.
There's a hierarchy. You answer to people in the NFL. Exactly. Like there's no GM in college football. There's no owner. There's no like player hierarchy like that. Like even his biggest players that he's ever coached in the world, Tim Tebow, Justin Fields, you name it, they couldn't look at Urban Meyer sideways at all because he still holds their future in his hands for that very moment. So
I'm going to tell you this, and we've talked about this before as well. It's actually an amazing deal for Urban Meyer because he just got a big ass contract from Jacksonville.
Yeah. Yep.
He'll probably figure out a way to wiggle out, and then he'll go get a big ass deal at USC or some other big ass college ball.
Someone tweeted last night, is he leaving for USC tonight or in the morning? You know what I mean? Like, because that if I'm Urban Meyer, I'm looking at that, I'm like, okay, I could probably ride out this Jacksonville thing for 1 year, have a backdoor agreement with USC, and go be the coach there, because that's where you need to go be. Go somewhere at USC where they're desperate to get back to winning, and you can do whatever the hell you want to and have your pick of the litter of West Coast players. But it's not going to work in Jacksonville if this is going to be the case. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a 1 year deal.
And double dip and make $6.5 million per.
Exactly. He'll find a way. He's snaked out of situations before.
Oh, he flat out just leaves. He don't snake
out. He blames on his. No, my heart hurts.
Chest pains.
My heart hurts too much for Florida, but it's good enough for Columbus.
Yo, my chest is tight down here in Florida. But it seems to open up here in Columbus.
You know what, man? Actually, now that I've been to Ohio a couple of years, my heart and shit's about to hit the fan. My heart doesn't feel right. I'm gonna go over to Bristol and ESPN for a couple of years, but all of a sudden Jacksonville opens up with Trevor Lawrence. Man, my ticker feels great. I got a clean bill of health. I'm great.
Shit, loose now.
Oh my God, I've been on the Peloton. I'm feeling great. And now guess what? His heart ain't gonna feel right. Duval. And his shit's gonna feel great in Pasadena.
Your shit's starting to tighten up a little bit.
I need that California air quality, man. I don't know what it is, man. My cardio is at risk. So he'll sneak out, man. If the reports are like that early, and here's the thing. Here's what they say: winning cures everything. and that team ain't going to win this year. So it's not like they're going to have a chance to turn around those vibes. Those vibes are only going to get worse. That's a bad ball club with not a lot of talent, and you're trying to work in a rookie quarterback who's not going to be able to carry you to too many victories.
Yeah,
it's not going to get better.
It's the patience thing.
Yeah.
I just don't think he has the patience to lock in like that for 3-4 years
and then deal with the losing.
Turn it around. Yeah.
And how many games has he lost? How many football games has Urban Meyer lost over the last 10 years? Like, let's keep it real. How many? He's going to lose more games this year.
Probably like 10 or 12. Yeah.
He might lose. He will lose more games this year than he's lost over the last 10 years of coaching. If you're not used to dealing with that, if you've never had to rebuild, right? He didn't rebuild Ohio State. He just made them better. He didn't rebuild. Florida was a kind of a rebuild situation, but it's still the University of Florida in the SEC. You just got to go out and get the talent. You can't in the NFL just be like, I want that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy.
Exactly.
And they ain't coming to Jacksonville. They're definitely not coming over there if they feel like they have to deal with your ass this early. Like preseason games, come on, man. Guys worried about their job.
I mean, for the reports to be coming out this early, that's where it gets kind of spooky. It's like, bro, this is the first week of the season.
That was out before kickoff.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
And then they got their face beat in.
Yeah. By the Texans.
And my man Tyrod Taylor.
Shout out
to card-carrying member of the Black Quarterback Club. So, like, yeah, you go out there, you lay an egg against the Texans. You're going to have a rookie quarterback again. You're going to have growing pains. It's a roster that definitely needs to be turned over. They went 1-15 last year. Like, this is going to take time.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's something that he's not trying to sit there and go build brick by brick and rebuild the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's used to coming into a situation and having success because he believes in himself that much. Go to SC, man. No one's going to blame you. You should just go to SC today.
Yeah, no, facts. I mean,
yeah, I'm just going to go.
That's enough on Urban Meyer. But yeah, let's see how this unravels out there, because I could already already see him laying in bed like, man, I need to get out to LA.
I need to get the fuck out ASAP, dude.
So we'll see what happens. Yo, we got to talk Chiefs Browns.
Oh yeah,
got to, because hey man, say what you want, Chiefs can't keep doing this shit, bro.
Playing from behind.
Apparently
they can.
No, they can't.
Apparently they can.
Talk to the Bucks. They can't. Like we're talking long-term, big time play. Like in the playoffs, that's a fucking L.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Unless you're playing Bill O'Brien and the Texans and he's going for fake punts up 20-0. But yeah.
So yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I understand it's game one, but this shit goes back to last year, man. They were doing this shit last year. And I get the Browns are a really good football team, but they can't keep going down and getting beat up and then being like, all right. Because honestly, they don't win that game unless the Browns make a ton of mistakes and essentially lay
huge mistakes too.
You know what I'm saying?
The fumbled punt and the Baker interception are massive mistakes that gave the Chiefs that ball game. The fumble punt, if he just punts that and you get a stop, the game is over. The game is over.
You essentially gave him a touchdown.
Yeah, you gave them a touchdown. You gave the Chiefs an extremely short field, and that was that. If he is able to hold on to that snap and they get a good stop, which they can do because the Browns defense is good, like you said, yeah, they don't win that game. So I do agree with it in that for sure. You can't rely on that. You can't rely on miracles to win the game. You can't rely on, and I get it, you have the best quarterback, most talented quarterback we may have ever seen. But you don't want to play like that. It's a dangerous way to play, especially as the teams get better, as guys start to not necessarily figure you out, but adjust to what it is that you're doing. Yeah, you can't play like that. It's a dangerous way to live.
They were getting smoked, bro. The Browns had 457 total yards. I mean, 300 yards passing, 153 on the ground. They're going for 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that type of shit can't happen.
Oh, and the Chubb fumble was huge. The Chubb fumble, the fumbled punt, and the Baker interception. And that was 2 touchdowns. The punt and the Chubb fumble gave you a short field that you scored 2 touchdowns on. You can't rely on that every week.
I mean, like, you just can't. No, the Browns were 4 for 4 in the red zone. Yeah. 3 for 4 on 4th down. Like, they were outplaying them, and then they browned it. They Cleveland Browns themselves out of the game, right? So to go back to our conversation about Baker Mayfield, can you get it done with Baker? I'm going to tell you this. If you're going to give me 153 on the ground and 4 touchdowns, yeah.
And Patrick Mahomes isn't on the other side of the field.
Right. Yes.
Which he won't be for the next 16 games.
Right.
Yes.
Like, you feel what I'm saying?
So that was the question I put to you then. So if you're a Browns fan, right? And like they're talking yesterday on the show about moral victories and stuff like that. Like obviously we don't count those. But if you're a Browns fan, are you like head in your hands right now? Or are you like, yo, we just went toe to toe with a really good team at Arrowhead. And unfortunately, because of some mistakes, we lost, but we feel good? Or are you like, nah, the sky's falling? The same Browns.
Guy's definitely not falling. We just went toe to toe on the road in week 1 and should have won the game. We lost it. We lost the game ourselves. We turned it over and then smoked off a punt. I mean, listen, that the messing up the punt shit, it just doesn't happen that
won't happen again.
Just when it does, it's always so colossal. Like no matter what,
he will never do that again.
Right.
Because he'll be at home.
Yeah.
He'll be at home on Monday if that happens again. And I don't care how big his leg is. He will be at home on Monday. He might be at home tomorrow with that shit. But yeah, he will never do that again. Chubb, look, the body of work for Nick Chubb speaks for itself. He doesn't put the ball on the ground like that. Yeah, it was just a bad mistake. Dude, they said Nick Chubb averages 10 yards a carry in the fourth quarter last year.
What?
Yes. That's what they said during the broadcast. Nick Chubb averaged 10 yards a carry in the fourth quarter last year.
Just wear you down.
Yeah. But like again, we talk about they know what they want to do.
Baker Mayfield was 21 of 28, 321. That's 11.5 a throw. And he had 1 pick. And that pick came at the very, very end of the game.
And he wasn't throwing the ball away either.
I don't think so either.
I don't want to hear that. Romo said that, and Orlovsky tried to back it up yesterday too. And I'm like, no, that's just quarterback protecting quarterbacks.
Romo was trying to, hold the quarterback down and show some love. But I think he felt that pressure coming, and he was just like, I need a completion, bro. And he threw the pick.
Yeah, and Baker's arm is strong enough to get that out of bounds if that's where he's trying to go with it.
Right. But before this, he's 21 of 28, 300 yards.
Looking good.
I mean, it's no mistakes, and we're going to run the shit out of the football.
Talked about it. We talked about this multiple times with the Cleveland Browns. And if you're them, that's what I'm saying. If you're them, 153 yards on the ground, 6 yards per carry, Baker looked good outside that one play, you should feel really good because we did exactly what we wanted to do. We did exactly what we wanted to do. Our defense played pretty well, all things considered. Like some of that Mahomes shit's just going to happen. Right? Like, don't feel bad about not stopping Patrick Mahomes because he's literally only played 1 bad football game in his entire career, and it was in the Super Bowl.
Hey, man,
that's
I'm going to tell you this. And the Browns tried to go one-on-one versus Tyreek Hill.
Stop it.
He had 15 targets.
Yeah, what are we doing?
11 catches for almost 200 yards, 197 yards.
Remember we talked about it as our combination shit? Like, yo, just worry about him.
Just don't let him. Like, listen, his long catch was 75 yards. You don't let that happen. Maybe I don't know. Let him get it to Kelsey over the middle for a few more.
One of the craziest. Another one of the crazy. Every week he makes one of the craziest throws you ever seen, and that one was no exception. That was ridiculous.
What, just running going over,
running right through across his body on the run in full sprint.
Yeah,
in a full sprint to the right, he threw the ball to the left as a right-handed quarterback. It's absolutely absurd.
Pat did his thing, 28 of 36, 337, 3 touchdowns. But the Browns are right there. The Browns are busting their ass. So, Hey, man, let me talk to you about the little incident on the sideline.
Oh, the dude pushed the coach?
Yeah. So, first off, do you think that's an ejection? And secondly, should the coach be reprimanded for that?
Yes, it's an ejection because I think you just got to have a blanket rule on stuff like that. But I'm also reprimanding the coach. You don't become a part of the story like that. Do you have this? Good.
No, I was just saying you should never be touching a player.
Never be touching a player at all. Yeah.
Yo, I get trying to pull people off your guy to get your guy up. You shouldn't be pushing people out the way or none of that.
No.
Like that should have been a flag on Kansas City.
Right.
You asked me.
If you give it to it for coaches coming on the field when they're not supposed to be, that needs to be 100%. At the same time, as a player, like it's a tricky situation. I think if you're the NFL, you just have a blanket rule on stuff like that. But yeah, both should be reprimanded. 100%. Was he what kind of was he a positional coach? Quality control assistant?
Okay. He looked like I don't know. I don't know.
He's a guy. Yeah.
But the guys that are usually that close to the field usually got a little bit of juice.
A little bit of juice, yeah.
A little bit of juice.
Yeah, so, unless he's just grabbing towels and shit.
Yeah, yeah, but then he wouldn't have the heart to be that involved.
Yeah, he might be a strength and conditioning guy, something like that. Who knows? But yeah, no, it was ridiculous.
Yeah. So, all right, man. Anything else before we get into these early look picks? Anything else you want to show love to?
Any rookie quarterback that you who was your rookie quarterback that impressed you? Mac Jones,
Justin Fields.
in his 5 plays.
Justin Fields.
His misdirections. I liked Mac. Hey, look, I thought the little kid on the Jets, man, he's got a lot of heart. He's out there running around. That team is fucking awful. He's playing with no talent at all. Obviously they lost, but I mean, if you're trying to pull some stuff away, I thought he looked fine. Mac Jones is exactly what I expected him to be. They'll start winning those games. I think he'll be fine.
Did you see them offer him his first touchdown pass ball and he wouldn't take it?
No. He's like, no, I don't want that. We lost.
He looked up and was running to the sideline, and they were trying to hand him the ball, and he was like swatting the ball away. Like, no, it's a Patriot. I'll have many more touchdowns.
He's like, look, I'm from Bama, man. I'm not gonna fucking take a ball after a loss. Yeah. So I think he looked good. Obviously, I would have liked to have seen Justin Fields a little bit more. We talked about that. Yeah, we're not even gonna talk about these boys. So it's really between Wilson, Lawrence, and Jones. Mac Jones,
solid.
Solid, man. Bill's comfortable as hell with dude. I can tell you that right now.
Yes, he really is.
He's very comfortable with him as his quarterback and has no worries. Like, this is what I'm used to. This is what I want.
He's getting ready to mold this buddy for the next dozen.
Yeah, it is gonna be fine.
And he's already in midseason. Did you hear him on the mic?
No, he's not. What he was just sounded like a professional.
Oh, dude, I got to do better. Like, he's he's already Patriot way.
Fully indoctrinated.
Yeah, he's fully locked in. So it's crazy to see. All right.
Go ahead. Real quick though, is there anything in week 1 that you saw? I know we talked about the Packers. Is there anything you saw in week 1 that is false? That won't last, that won't keep up?
Anything?
I said the Packers struggles again. I think they're going to turn that around. But anything you think, anybody that might have played outside of their ability,
outside of their brain,
any quarterback that's like, no, that's not who you are. Is it the Steelers D?
I thought it was really interesting that the Lions put up 33 points. I know a lot of it was on the back end of the game.
Yeah,
but for a team that is, everyone was pretty much saying has no chance to do anything.
You can't even name 5 players on that roster.
Yeah, they put up some points on the 49ers. So I thought that was interesting, but I don't think that'll keep up. The Texans are shit. You don't have to worry about them doing
that's false
the rest of the week. That's big false.
Okay.
And did you hear the coaches? Like, we expected to win the game. He came out and he was like doing all that huffing and puffing and shit.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, that's false. I think a lot of this shit, like, I think the Giants are bad. A lot of this stuff was
what you expected.
Kinda. I mean,
I think the Bills offensive struggles. Yeah, Bengals.
I didn't expect the Bengals to win. I didn't expect the Texans to win. I didn't expect the Steelers to win. So I wouldn't say it went as I expected. But yeah, to answer your question, I'll go with the Lions scoring 30+ points.
You just think that's false.
And dude, the fucking Texans scored 37 points.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, big points in week 1. All right, but on that same note, let's get into week 2. What did you call it, Nick? The Tuesday preview?
Tuesday morning better. So instead of Monday morning quarterback, we got the Tuesday morning better. Way too early looks at lines for the week coming up before we know anything, before we know the injury report, before we know anything about anything. What stuck out to you? You can either go with a player prop, you can go with the over/under, you can go with the money line. Yeah, I'm not touching any props, or you can just go with the straight up line. I got mine. I'm taking Arizona Cardinals laying 3.5 at home to the Minnesota Vikings. This to me is stone cold. Led by a block.
You going back to the well? Cardinals?
Yeah, absolutely. At home, look, man, you get 3 points just for being at home, right? So you're going to tell me that the Cardinals are only a half a point better than the Minnesota Vikings? Yo, you see what happens when teams go out there early in the year, man. Everybody's kicking it, having a good time in Scottsdale. They come out on Sunday flat.
Let me.
And the Minnesota Vikings are fraudulent every year, mediocre.
Yeah, they are the definition of a mediocre.
They're just a mediocre ball club. I don't think there's any chance. They lost to the fucking Bengals. I don't think there's any chance they go up there and have a competitive game in the desert. No way. No shot.
Let me tell y'all something about Nick. There was one year where I think in our pick'em league, he took the Cardinals every home game, no matter what the line was.
Yeah, I think I covered like 9 of them too.
Yeah, Nick the Quick loves the Cardinals at the crib.
Love it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. You want to just go one and I'll go one?
Yeah, who you got? So that's my lock. So we're gonna keep a tally on this. So I got Cardinals 3.5, and it's Tuesday lines. I'm going off FanDuel, but you just go off yours.
How many games are we gonna pick?
I just had that one. We can go for another. You want to do 2?
No, we could. I was already talking about this yesterday. I'll give you. How about this? I'll give you a few games, and then I'll tell you which one I like the most.
Oh yeah, give me your one.
I'm gonna tell you this. I looked yesterday, maybe even Sunday night or Monday morning. The Giants on Thursday night were getting 4.5. It's all the way down to 3. So I think the Giants are in an interesting spot. No Fitzpatrick. They're going to play Heineke. Is that his name?
Heineke.
On the Redskins.
Start a playoff game.
Dude, the total is 40.5. That's going to be a low scoring game. If you're going to give me at one point they were trying to give me 4.5. It's now at 3. You could put that in a little teaser and make your way. I like the Giants. I would take the Giants getting 3 on Thursday night football. You know how that shit goes.
Yep.
Give me my favorite bet is the Buffalo Bills -3 at Miami. I like
that too.
I just don't think Miami's going to be able to put up enough points. I think they have a lot of D, and they do play D. But listen, they played a rookie quarterback in his first start, and they were getting ready to lose the game and had a massive fumble from the Patriots to lock that up on Sunday. So my best bet, give me Buffalo -3. If you want to get some early action in the week, give me that.
Tua still shaky?
What's up?
Tua still shaky?
Tua still shaky? No, he's a second-year quarterback. He's like, you know what I'm saying? His numbers are going to look like 19 of 27, 198, 215. Like, yeah, that's what it is. So also, I'm going to tell you this. Whatever the Packers team total is, it's not out yet. Take that.
Take the over.
They're going to score 35 points at home against Detroit on Monday Night Football. They might score 28 points in the first half. That's what that's going to look like. So yeah, but give me the Bills -3 and go ahead and make some money on that.
Cool. So you got Bills -3. I got Cardinals -3.5. What do you think about the Texans getting 12.5 points going to Cleveland? Coming off of a win.
I wouldn't. What, you think I'm gonna take the Texans?
Yeah, I just saw that. I thought that number. I thought that number was too big. It's a crazy week 2 number.
It's a big number, but then look at the total's only 48 too. So they're saying the Texans are going to score what?
It's going to be 31-7.
Yeah,
31-14. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, put like this, it might be a big number, but I'm definitely not looking at taking the Titans or the Texans.
Fair enough.
I would just steer away if anything.
So Sean's on Buffalo. I'm on the Cardinals. We'll keep a tally of this throughout the week. It's 17 games, so we won't have a tie. Let's do it.
And in that same breath, I mean, Tampa Bay giving Atlanta 12.
Yeah, I saw that.
So, yeah, man, sign me up.
It doesn't matter. They be giving Atlanta 115. I'm not touching the Falcons. They'll find a way to fuck it up.
Yeah, sign me up for all that. So, but yeah, man, it'll be interesting. Week 1 is in the books. Week 2 is on the way. We're gonna try to get somebody Thursday for a little no catch up fast food. We're gonna try to find
keep on the reps.
We're gonna try to find a Bengals fan. You know who was at Bengals Vikings? Shout out D Mayberry. He usually listens. He went to his second NFL game on Sunday.
Why'd he go to Bengals Vikings? Is he
a Vikings fan?
Bro. Is he a Vikings fan?
Mayberry a Vikings fan, dog.
Is Mayberry from Minnesota?
Mayberry's from Oklahoma. And
okay.
He actually, I got some grub with Mayberry the other day, and I asked him why he was a Vikings fan. The reason he's a Vikings fan is because he's from this super small town in Oklahoma, and they had a wide receiver from their town go play for the Vikings.
Fair
so he's
enough.
like, I'm rocking with the Vikings, and he's rocked with them ever since.
It must be nice to be able to like pick a team not based on geography and be stuck with a team
that's solid,
that kills you every year. I mean, not that the Vikings are solid, but it's like we have to be Bears fans, and it's not cool.
It's not cool, man.
It's not cool.
It's not cool, man.
I'd so much rather be somewhere else.
Yeah. So I think the Saints, a couple interesting, real quick, a couple
some fun games.
Spots. Saints Panthers is interesting. That's a 4-point line.
Yeah.
Bears at home -3 is interesting. Like, you already know how they get down at the crib too. All of a sudden, the defense looks better. All types of crazy shit start happening. So the Bears -3 is interesting.
Colts getting 4 at home.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting.
And it's not like the Rams. I mean, the Rams offense made huge plays the other day, but for a lot of the game, they weren't doing a ton. So I think that the Colts getting points at home is very, very interesting because people love the Colts, apparently, allegedly.
So, but yeah, man, we'll leave it there. No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. Make sure you subscribe everywhere, man. Lock in with us. iTunes, YouTube, Spotify. Me and Big Nick the Quick going to try to get as much content out as possible. We've been grinding out, regular jobs and content over here. So make sure you rock with us. Tell a homie to tell a homie to tell a friend. No Catch Up. For Big Nick the Quick, No Catch Up Sports Talk via Chicago. We out of here.